Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into something pretty fascinating. We're looking at a hidden logic, a kind of universal blueprint that connects fields of study you'd never think to put together. Things like how our bodies work and, how the entire planet moves.
So let's start with a question that sounds like the beginning of a really weird joke, right? What in the world connects breathing, earthquakes, and professional management? Well, the answer is this incredible shared mechanical blueprint, and it's a set of rules that's been borrowed from one core discipline, anatomy.
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start by breaking down the core principles of this whole thing. Then, we'll see how they apply to the Earth itself, to the stars way up in the sky, and even to how we humans get things done. And then, we'll wrap it all up and connect the dots.
Okay, let's get into the absolute core of this idea. Think of it as the source code. It's really just three fundamental concepts from anatomy that all these other totally different fields have kind of picked up and used to solve their own problems. So first up is what's called the nature of peeling. The easiest way to think about this is to picture a biologist doing a dissection, or maybe a hacker taking apart a piece of code. It's this really powerful idea that to truly understand something, you have to deconstruct it. You have to peel it back layer by layer to see how it all works.
Next up, we have this idea that holes, well, they aren't just empty space. In anatomy, things like pores or other perforations are what give a surface the ability to stretch. And that simple feature is a game changer. It turns what would be a solid wall into a dynamic gateway, a pathway for things to actually pass through.
And our third principle is the cap. It's simple. Every single system has one. It's the ultimate boundary, the absolute limit. It's that point where something just can't stretch or peel or function any further.
Okay, so we've got these three principles: peeling, stretching, and caps. But how do they connect things that seem totally random? Well, let's look at our first example, and you'll see how our planet can, in a way, breathe, just like a living body does.
And boom, here it is. The connection is right there. On the left, you've got respiration, our lungs, which are perforated, stretchy tissues pull in air. Now look at the right, seismology. You have tectonic plates with perforations or cracks that stretch and allow molten rock to get forced up between them. It is the exact same mechanical logic at work.
So this shared logic has a name: expandable organization. You've got a surface with holes in it. Those holes let it stretch, and that stretching is what lets essential stuff move from one place to another. It really doesn't matter if that stuff is the air we need to live or the molten rock that's shaping the continents.
Okay, so let's take this idea and just blast off. We're going from deep inside the Earth to the farthest corners of space, because this anatomical blueprint can actually change the way we think about a field like astronomy. So this is a pretty radical idea. The source material suggests that the ultimate cap in astronomy isn't how far away the stars are. It's our own biology. In this way of thinking, your eyes are the real instrument, and a telescope is just an attachment. It's your brain that's actually doing the observing. And this completely reframes the whole field. It means astronomy isn't just about looking out there. It becomes this active internal dissection. To really get what's happening in the cosmos, we have to use that peeling principle on ourselves. We have to deconstruct how our senses and our brain process all that light. It's about understanding the observer just as much as what's being observed.
So, the process of astronomy suddenly looks a lot like anatomy. Step 1 is just observation. Step 2 is the peeling, taking apart all that sensory data. And step 3, the final limit, the cap, well, it's not in deep space. It's right here. It's the biological connection between our eyes and our brain. That's the real frontier.
All right, let's bring this whole framework back down to Earth and look at us, at human systems. The sources here make a really surprising connection between a martial art and, of all things, professional management.
Now, if you look at these side by side, they seem like complete opposites. In the martial art harness, it's all about mastering the challenge of an added physical burden, like a weapon. But in management, success often comes from mastering the art of letting go of control.
But here's the thing. They are two sides of the very same coin. One is physical, one is procedural, but both are about teaching mastery by confronting a fundamental limit. Whether you're learning to handle a weapon or learning to delegate, the goal is the same: to understand and work effectively right up against a cap.
Okay, so let's pull all these different threads together. Let's see the bigger, really elegant picture that this whole anatomical blueprint is painting for us.
Look, this anatomical model is more than just a neat little thought experiment. It's a really powerful new lens for seeing the hidden connections all around us. And why does that matter? Well, because it gives us a universal logic to understand how things are built,
how they expand and function, and crucially, where their breaking points are.
So when you boil it all down, here's the key takeaway. It's these three simple physical ideas that come straight from anatomy, peeling back layers, stretching through holes, and running up against limits. And these concepts can be scaled up from our own bodies to explain incredibly complex systems across pretty much all of science and engineering.
And that leaves us with one final thought. If we take this blueprint and apply it to our own lives, it kind of makes you ask, right? What complex systems are you a part of? What layers have you been peeling back? And what limits are you learning to master?